The strange signal in the year 2450, space had become a little less mysterious. Humans had ships, space stations, and colonies on many planets. The galaxy was filled with different alien species. Some were friendly, some were dangerous, but most kept to themselves. Earth had joined the Galactic Council 20 years ago, but many alien empires still didn't respect humans. To them, humans were young, reckless, and noisy creatures. On Earth's biggest space station, Outpost Orion, Captain Ryan Cross sat at his desk, staring at the endless black of space. Ryan was a man of curiosity. While others followed rules, he always liked asking questions. It was late at night when the message came. The communication officer, a young woman named Lena, ran into the room. Her face was pale. "Sir, you need to see this," she said. Holding a data pad, Ryan took the pad and read the screen. A strange signal had been picked up by one of the deep space satellites. It wasn't on any known frequency. No known species used this kind of code. It was old. Very old. "Where is it coming from?" Ryan asked. "Sector Void 13, Lena replied. The room went silent. Void 13 was a dead zone in space. No ships traveled there. No colonies existed there. It was a place of dark stories and lost ships. Some believed strange things happened in that part of the galaxy. The council had banned anyone from entering it. Ryan leaned back in his chair. "What does the message say?" "It's a distress call, sir. Someone's asking for help." He stared at the screen. The message repeated itself again and again. A weak voice in a forgotten language, calling out into the endless night. "Who else knows about this?" Ryan asked. "Only us, sir." The council censors ignored it. "They probably thought it wasn't important." Ryan smiled. "Of course they did. Most alien empires in the galaxy had strict rules about their own business. If a message wasn't meant for you, you ignored it. But humans were different. They had a habit of stepping into other people's problems. Some called it bravery. Others called it foolishness. "Get me a ship ready," Ryan ordered. Lena looked surprised. "Sir, the council orders say, to hell with their orders." Ryan cut her off. "No one sends a call for help and gets ignored. Not on my watch." Within an hour, a small ship named the Resolute was prepared. It wasn't the biggest or the fastest, but it was reliable. Ryan's crew trusted him because he never asked them to do what he wasn't ready to do himself. Most of them were off duty, but when they heard the news, every single one showed up without question. "Are you sure about this, Captain?" asked Jonas, the ship's engineer. "Void 13 is cursed." Ryan placed a hand on his shoulder. "Maybe. It is, but someone's out there calling for help. And if we don't answer, who will?" The ship left the station quietly, without telling the council. The stars stretched around them as the Resolute moved deeper into space. The further they went, the stranger things became. The sensors picked up broken signals and strange noises. Dead ships floated aimlessly, their lights long gone. Lena shivered at her station. "It's like a graveyard out here," she whispered. They were close now. The signal was stronger. It wasn't clear, but it was desperate. A single message repeating. "Help us. Save us from the darkness." "Captain, the source is ahead," Jonas reported. "It's an old ship. Looks alien, but I don't recognize the model." On the main screen, a massive, broken ship drifted through space. It was covered in deep scratches, like something huge had torn it apart. No lights, no movement. "Life signs?" Ryan asked. "One. Very weak," Lena replied. Ryan gritted his teeth. "We're going in." As they approached, strange symbols appeared on the ship's surface. No one could read them. Jonas recorded them anyway. The Resolute docked carefully, its claws locking onto the broken ship's side. The airlock hissed open. Ryan and two others stepped inside with weapons ready. The alien ship was cold and dark. The walls were covered with strange markings. It smelled of old metal and dust. Then they found it. Inside a small chamber was a stasis pod. A figure floated inside. Tall, thin, with gray skin and large black eyes. An alien unknown to human records. "He's alive," Jonas said softly. "Barely." The alien's eyes opened slowly. Panic filled his face as he saw the humans. "Easy, friend," Ryan said, raising a hand. "We're here to help." "They." Alien's voice was weak, barely a whisper. "You shouldn't have come. It watches everything." Ryan's heart pounded. What did he mean? Who watches? But the alien passed out before he could answer. Suddenly, back on the Resolute, an alarm blared. "Captain." Lena's voice shouted through the radio. "Something huge is approaching fast." Ryan looked at his crew. "Get ready," he said. "We're not alone out here." Into the void the Resolute's alarm kept ringing, a loud, sharp sound that made everyone's heart race. Inside the alien ship, Captain Ryan Cross stared at the stasis pod. The strange alien lay unconscious, but his last words still echoed in Ryan's mind. "It watches everything." Ryan tapped his radio. "Lena, what's out there?" Her voice came through, tight and nervous. "Sir, it's big. Really big. I can't get a clear reading. It's absorbing the scanner waves. 1 minute it's there, the next it's gone." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Keep the weapons ready. No one fires unless I give the order." "Understood, Captain." Ryan turned to Jonas and the other crew member, Mira, a brave pilot with sharp reflexes. "Grab the pod. We're taking him with us." "But Captain," Jonas started. "No." "Arguments," Ryan cut in. "Whatever's out there, it might be connected to this poor soul. And I don't leave people behind." The crew carefully lifted the stasis pod and hurried back to the ship. The halls of the dead alien vessel seemed darker now, as if the shadows moved with them. A low, distant rumble shook the walls. No one spoke, but their faces showed fear. They reached the Resolute and sealed the airlock. As the ship pulled away from the dead hulk, the crew looked at the main screen. Out of the darkness, a shape appeared. It wasn't like any ship they'd ever seen. It was huge, so large it seemed to stretch endlessly into space. Its surface was black, darker than the void around it, with no lights, no markings, nothing. That made it look alive or dead. It was simply there. "What is that?" Jonas whispered. Lena's voice trembled over the speakers. I don't know, sir. It wasn't on any council records. It wasn't on any deep space logs. It shouldn't exist." The ship slowly turned, and for a moment it felt like it was looking at them, though it had no eyes, no face. Every person on the Resolute felt the weight of its gaze. Then a signal came through. A cold, mechanical voice spoke in a strange language, then switched to broken galactic common. "Leave, or be consumed." Ryan's fingers tightened around. "The command chair. Is it armed?" "Not sure, Captain," Lena answered. "But power readings are off the scale. It could crush us like a bug." Jonas spoke quickly. "Sir, if we leave now, it might not follow." Ryan thought about it. They had a stasis pod with a dying alien who begged for help. A strange giant. Ship threatening to destroy them. A forbidden sector full of lost ships. Most captains would run. But Ryan Cross wasn't most captains. "No," he said. "We stay." The crew stared at him in shock. "Sir?" Mira said. "We came because someone asked for help," Ryan replied. "This thing has been killing and hiding in the dark. If no one stands up to it, it will keep hunting. And if not, then who?" A long silence filled the ship. Then, slowly, the crew nodded. I'm with you, Myra said. Me too, Jonas added. We all are. Lena's voice came through. Ryan nodded. Good, Jonas. Get the weapons hot. Myra, find. Use a weak spot. Lena, open a wide scan. I want to know what this thing is. The giant ship began to move closer, and the Resolute's lights flickered. The alien in the stasis pod suddenly woke up, his eyes wide with terror. It learns. It always learns. It can't be stopped. The alien gasped. Ryan knelt beside him. What is it? What does it want? The alien coughed weakly. It devours. Worlds, ships, life. It was built by no one, born from the dark between stars. We called it the Devourer. The name sent a chill through everyone on the ship. Jonas spoke up. Captain, if it's as old as he says, it's seen every battle trick in the book. It'll adapt fast. Then we'll do what humans always do, Ryan said with a grim smile. We'll improvise. The Devourer sent another warning. Leave. Or die. Ryan stood and pointed at the screen. Not today. We answer. The call. The ancient enemy, the Devourer, floated in front of them, silent and massive. Its dark surface looked like it was swallowing light itself. No one on the Resolute had ever seen anything so terrifying. Every time the scanners tried to lock onto it, the readings came back wrong, as if the ship was a ghost, not truly there. Lena spoke quietly through the comm. It's moving closer. 200 kilometers now. Ryan stared at the screen. Jonas, charge all weapons. Myra, keep us ready to move. Sir, Jonas said nervously, our weapons won't even scratch that thing. I know, Ryan answered, but maybe. It doesn't know that. The alien survivor, weak but awake, spoke from the med bay. His voice was hoarse, but every word was filled with fear. You don't understand. It has destroyed empires, eaten entire worlds. Your ship, no chance. Ryan walked over to the med bay and knelt beside him. You called for help, and humans don't turn away from that. The alien's large black eyes softened a little. No one else ever came. Then it's about time someone did. Suddenly, the ship shook violently. The Devourer had fired. Something, a pulse wave of invisible energy. The shields held, but lights flickered, and the engines coughed. Report! Ryan barked. Shields down to 60%, Lena called out. Another hit like that, and we're done. Ryan looked at Jonas. Target that weak spot you mentioned. Jonas hesitated. I don't even know if it has a weak spot, Captain. But I'll find something. You've got 2 minutes, Ryan replied. That thing's going to fire again. The alien survivor coughed and pointed at the screen. It learns. Every time you fight it, it remembers. It gets stronger. That's why no one survives. Ryan frowned. Then we'll do something no one's tried. He turned to Myra. Set a random flight pattern. Keep changing directions every second. Make it impossible to predict. You got it, sir? The Resolute darted through space, moving in sharp, sudden angles. The Devourer fired again, but missed. A huge blast of energy shot past them, lighting up the black sky. Nice work, Ryan said. Jonas? I've got a spot, Captain. There's a strange energy leak near the lower hull. It's small, but it's something. Good. Load everything we've got. Sir, Lena said, if we fire, it'll notice and target us for sure. Ryan smirked. It already has. They loaded their strongest plasma torpedoes, knowing it wouldn't do much. But it wasn't about damage. It was about sending a message. On my mark, Ryan said. 3, 2, 1, fire. The Resolute's weapons launched, streaking. Through space, the torpedoes struck the Devourer's weak point. A small explosion burst against its surface. The damage was tiny, a scratch on a mountain, but it worked. The Devourer paused. For the first time, it hesitated. It noticed us, Jonas whispered. Ryan grinned. Good. Now let's make it chase us. He turned to the crew. Prepare for full burn. We're going to lead this thing away from the stasis shipwrecks. The alien survivor looked up. You are mad, Ryan chuckled. Humans usually are. They fired their engines and shot away from the battlefield. The Devourer followed. Its size made it slow, but it moved steadily, absorbing the darkness. Around it, Captain, Lena said, there's a dying star 2 sectors ahead. Radiation off the charts. No ship would go near it. Ryan's eyes lit up. Then that's where we'll go. Sir, it's dangerous for us. But maybe dangerous for that thing too. Jonas grinned. I like your kind of crazy. The alien survivor slowly sat up. A trap. Yes, it fears the old stars, ancient heat. The places even machines die. Ryan nodded. Then we've got a plan. The Devourer fired another pulse, but the Resolute's sudden, unpredictable moves kept them one step ahead. Lena looked back. It's getting faster, sir. Ryan smirked. Let it. The closer it follows, the better. As the dying star appeared ahead, a huge glowing orange sun on the edge of collapse, Ryan tightened his grip on the command chair. Time to teach this monster what happens when humans answer a call. We are not running anymore. Asterisk the. First strike, the dying star loomed ahead, a giant ball of burning orange light. Waves of heat and radiation poured from it, warping the space around it. No ship ever came this close to such a star, not unless it wanted to be turned to dust. On the bridge of the Resolute, Captain Ryan Cross stared at the giant screen. The Devourer was still behind them, moving like a shadow through the stars. It seemed slower now, but every scan showed its power growing. Distance from the star? Ryan asked. 5,000 kilometers, Lena replied, her voice tight with fear. And dropping fast. Good. Jonas, get the torpedoes ready. Mira, keep us spinning. Don't give it a clean shot. Aye, sir. Jonas and Mira answered. Together, the alien survivor sat weakly in the med bay, his pale face reflecting the light of the star. He spoke through the radio, his voice still cracked, but stronger than before. It won't stop. It can't stop. It was made to feed, to hunt, to learn. Every battle, it remembers. Every weapon, it adapts. But it fears the old heat. The stars before time. Ryan smiled faintly. Then let's give it something to fear. The plan was simple. Lure the Devourer closer to the star's radiation field, where even the strongest shields couldn't last. Then strike hard at its weak points. It wasn't much, but it was a chance. Captain, Jonas called out. Torpedoes armed and ready. Plasma loaded. This is everything we've got. Good. We'll only get one shot at this. The Devourer fired again, a wide beam of invisible energy. Mira jerked the controls, sending the Resolute into a sudden roll. The energy blast missed them by meters, lighting up the space around them like a thunderstorm. Shields down to 30%. Lena shouted. Doc Ryan clenched his teeth. Hold it together. Myra, take us lower, closer to the radiation belt. Mira's hands moved fast on the controls. The ship dove dangerously close to the star. Warning alarm screamed. The hull temperature climbed fast. We can't stay here long, Jonas warned. The radiation's chewing through the armor. Just a little longer, Ryan said. Devourer followed, but slower now. The radiation affected it too. Its surface rippled like boiling liquid, and strange energy leaks appeared along its hull. Jonas pointed at the screen. There, see that? Those cracks on its lower side. That's new. Ryan nodded. Target them. All weapons. Locked. Fire. The Resolute unleashed everything. Plasma torpedoes, pulse cannons, and even emergency flares shot out toward the wounded parts of the Devourer. Explosions burst across its surface. This time, real damage showed. Pieces of its dark armor cracked away, exposing strange, moving things beneath: wires, liquid metal, and shifting lights. On the bridge, the crew cheered. "We did it!" Mira shouted Dot. But then the Devourer shifted. Its entire surface changed shape, healing over the wounds like living skin. Within seconds, it looked as if nothing had happened. The bridge went silent. "Sir," Lena whispered, "it adapted again." The alien's voice came through the comb. "Told you. It learns too fast. No weapon works twice." Ryan's jaw tightened. Then it's time for something new. He turned to Jonas. "Remember that old prototype bomb we weren't supposed to bring?" Jonas' eyes widened. "The Nova Core?" "Captain, that thing's unstable. It could tear us apart if we mess up." Ryan grinned. "Which is why no one would ever expect us to use it." The Nova Core was Earth's last resort weapon, a small star core bomb designed to destroy entire fleets. It had never been tested. No one was crazy enough to try, except Ryan Cross. "Load it into the launcher," Ryan ordered. "Myra, keep us alive until it's ready." "You're insane," Jonas muttered, but he was smiling as he ran to arm the bomb. The Devourer fired. Again. Another energy pulse smashed into the Resolute. Shields dropped to 15%. The hull groaned. Warning lights flashed everywhere. "We won't survive another hit like that, Captain," Lena warned. Ryan grabbed the radio. "Jonas, status." "Almost. They're 10 seconds. Hold her steady, Mira." "I'm trying, but it's heating up fast." The star's radiation made the controls sluggish. The ship's systems stuttered. The Devourer moved in for the final strike. "Now, Jonas." "Bombs." "Loaded. Launching." A small missile shot out from the Resolute, heading straight for the Devourer. It wasn't fast. It wasn't clean. But it was enough. The Devourer turned its attention to the missile, scanning it. Maybe it thought it was another weak human trick. Maybe it didn't care that it should have. The Nova Core bomb detonated. A blinding light filled space. A wave of white-hot energy burst from the explosion, slamming into both the Devourer and the dying star's radiation field. The blast twisted space. Itself. On the Resolute, systems went dark. Alarms fell silent. Everything shook. Then. Quiet. Total silence. The crew opened their eyes. On the screen, the Devourer hung motionless. Its surface cracked, burning. Parts of it floated away into the void. Ryan grinned. "Gotcha." But Lena's voice cut through the moment. "Captain, it's not dead." Everyone stared at the screen. The remains of the Devourer twitched. Ryan's smile faded. "Then we finish this." Humanity's hidden weapon, the bridge of the Resolute, was silent. Smoke hung in the air. Sparks flickered from broken control panels. The crew stared at the giant screen in front of them, where the burning remains of the Devourer floated. Its surface was cracked and glowing. Parts of it broke off and drifted into space. But it wasn't dead. Pieces of the giant ship began pulling themselves back together. Strange tendrils of black liquid reached out and grabbed floating debris. The Devourer was rebuilding itself. "It's impossible," Jonas whispered, sweat running down his face. "Nothing should survive that." "It learns," the alien survivor croaked from the med bay. "Every fight makes it stronger." Ryan Cross stood slowly, wiping blood from a cut on his forehead. His ship was barely holding together. Shields gone. Weapons empty. Engines weak, but his spirit wasn't broken. "Is there anything left we can use?" he asked. Jonas shook his head. "We threw everything at it. That was our biggest bomb. We've got nothing." Ryan's mind raced. Then an idea struck him. A desperate, insane idea. Something no one would dare attempt. Wait, Ryan said. We still have one weapon left. The crew looked at him, confused. Ryan turned to the screen and pointed at the dying star ahead. We'll drop it into the star. Lena's eyes widened. The Devourer. Exactly, Ryan said. We can't kill it with weapons, but the heart of a dying star, maybe that can. The alien survivor weakly nodded. It fears the old stars, the heat of creation. Even machines can die there. Jonas frowned. But Captain, how do we move that thing? It's too big, and we're too broken. Ryan smirked. We don't have to move it. We just have to make it follow us one last time. He looked at Myra. Can you pull us into a dive toward the star surface? Myra's face twisted with doubt. I can, but we won't survive the radiation that close. We don't need to? Ryan said. We eject at the last second. Use the escape pods to ride the blast wave out. Jonas shook his head. That's crazy. It's human, Ryan said with a grin. The crew exchanged nervous glances, then slowly nodded. I'm in, Myra said. Me too, Jonas added. Same here, Lena's voice crackled. Ryan spoke into the radio. Alien friend, you with us? A faint voice came through. Till the end, they moved fast. Mira turned the Resolute toward the burning star. Warning alarms screamed. The ship's hull began to blister. The Devourer followed, its dark shape slowly repairing, but curious about this new move. Jonas, Ryan said, overload the reactor. When it hits maximum, eject the core at the star. You sure about this, Captain? Ryan smiled. I was born sure. Jonas rushed to engineering. The crew strapped themselves in. The dying star's light filled the screens, burning orange and white. The heat made the ship's systems groan. It's working, Lena reported. The Devourer's following us. Moving faster now. Ryan's voice was calm. Good, Jonas now. Reactor at max, Jonas shouted. Ejecting core. A huge glowing ball of energy shot from the Resolute, straight into the star's atmosphere. The star reacted instantly, flaring brighter, sending massive waves of energy out in every direction. Escape pods now, Ryan ordered. The crew launched the pods. One by one, they shot away from the Resolute. Mira stayed at the controls until the last second, then leapt into her pod. The Devourer was too close to escape. The star's sudden flare caught it in a wave of deadly energy. Its body cracked, its surface peeled away. A terrible metallic scream echoed through space as the monster ship was dragged into the star's surface. On the escape pod's tiny screens, the crew watched as the Devourer melted and vanished beneath the star's boiling light. Ryan sighed with relief. That's for every world you destroyed. The star calmed, its surface slowly returning to normal. The Devourer was gone. The crew floated in space, waiting for rescue. A message was sent to the Galactic Council. The response was immediate. Humanity, you did what no empire could. The galaxy owes you. Ryan smiled at the stars. We weren't meant to hear that call, he said softly, but we answered anyway. Asterisk, the price of victory space was quiet. The bright, burning star glowed calmly again, as if nothing had happened. But the people who had been there would never forget what they saw. Inside the small escape pods, the surviving crew of the Resolute floated through the emptiness. Systems were weak. Oxygen was low, but no one complained. They had won. They were alive. And for the first time, the monster called the Devourer was truly gone. Captain Ryan Cross sat in his escape pod, staring out the small window at the stars. His face was bruised, his uniform torn, but his eyes were steady. He watched the spot where the giant machine ship had been swallowed by the dying star. He didn't say much. He didn't need to. A message crackled over the comm system. It was Lena's voice, weak but clear. Captain, scans show no trace of the devourer. It's gone. It's really gone. Ryan allowed himself a small smile. Good work, everyone. Another voice came through. Jonas, rescue ships from the Council are 2 hours out. We're gonna make it. Ryan leaned his head back. He felt the weight of what they had done, not just for themselves, but for every world, every species. Every lost ship out there that never had a chance. And then a final voice filled the channel. Thank you, humans. It was the alien survivor, his voice soft and filled with emotion. He was in one of the pods too, barely clinging to life. No one ever answered before. No one ever fought for others like this. Ryan looked at the stars. That's what we do. A long silence followed. Then an official message arrived from the Galactic Council Command. A deep, commanding voice spoke. Through every pod at once. Attention, crew of the Resolute. Against orders, you entered a forbidden sector. You engaged a threat no empire dared face. You risked your lives for strangers. And you succeeded where others fell. The Council recognizes your courage. A short pause. From this day forward, Earth is granted High Defender status in the Galactic Council. Humanity will no longer be seen as young or weak. You have earned your place among the legends of the stars. The crew cheered inside their tiny pods. Jonas laughed. Did you hear that, Captain? Legends. Myra's voice cut in. Told you your crazy ideas would get us somewhere. Even the alien chuckled softly. Ryan allowed himself a rare grin. Not bad for a bunch of reckless humans. As the rescue ships came into view, sleek silver vessels from across the galaxy, Ryan took one last look at the stars. A place that once ignored humans. A place that now knew their name. Because when no one else answered the call, humans did, and the galaxy would never forget it. Asterisk, the echo in the dark weeks had passed since the battle near the dying star. News of humanity's courage had spread across the galaxy like wildfire. For the first time in history, alien leaders spoke of Earth with respect. Space stations raised the human flag. Warships of old empires sent messages of thanks. And Earth itself celebrated. Captain Ryan Cross and his crew were called heroes. Monuments were built. The Council sent medals. Children on colony worlds learned their names. But in the deep parts of space, far from any star, beyond the edges of known charts, something stirred. In a cold, forgotten region called Void 14, where no light reached, a tiny broken fragment floated. It was a piece of the devourer, black and cracked, drifting alone. For days, it was silent. Then, without warning, a flicker of movement. A pulse. Inside the shard. A faint red glow appeared. Slow at first, like a heartbeat. Thump, thump, and then a whisper. A faint, cold voice. We learn we return. The fragment began pulling in nearby debris. Metal from long-dead ships, ancient wrecks, forgotten weapons. Piece by piece, it started to rebuild itself, deep in the data core of an old Council scanner. A warning light blinked once, then died. No one noticed. The galaxy slept peacefully, thinking the danger was over. But somewhere in the endless dark, the last pieces of a terrible machine still remembered the battle. And it still remembered humanity. It would return. And next time, it would be ready.